Good to be here.
And we have the one and only David Newman.
With my weird computer. Hello, everyone.
Hi. What makes your computer weird?
It was just tilted in a strange way. So like I was doing this. The old top of the head shot. Everyone always likes that.
Mm-hmm. Well, I hope we don't have to give you Zoom lessons, David.
I know. It could be a problem.
Sharon, are you there? Oh, and Cappy, wonderful. We'll just wait 30 seconds.
We've got a handful of people here that are in witness protection. I know what's going on. We got the witness protection program going on. Except Deb. Deb just comes out of witness protection to talk to me once in a while. Exactly.
You know what? So, Deborah, I was thinking about when we very first met, and I asked you if I should call you Deb or Deborah. And I've been having like flashbacks to be like, I think she said Deb. And I've been calling you Deborah this whole time, and I didn't know how to fix it. So, oh my goodness. So I hope you don't mind. It's been both. Well,
Sharon's in the middle of selling something. Sharon's in the middle of closing a deal right now.
We all should be doing that. Come on. What are you guys doing? Why are you even here?
Now I just need to make sure. Is it Deb? Rebooting. Deb, is it Deborah? Deb?
I don't know, but she's rebooting, so.
Same thing.
Deb. Oh no, we've been calling her Deborah this whole time.
It's all your fault.
Yeah, probably. Yeah. Well, why don't we get started? Well, Cappy, you might be the only one. If Deb is rebooting and Sharon's on another call. Cappy, do you have anything you can celebrate with us today?
She sure does.
I have a huge win. Hi, David. Nice to meet you. Yes, Michael's been very instrumental in supporting me and helping me. So as you guys know, I've been doing this for 27 years. I've been a speaker for a long time, and I have very old school models. David, you can probably appreciate. I, used to knock on doors and cold called and built my speaking business from cold calling a lot. So I do things still, unfortunately, a little on the old school side, which has been a little challenging. So that's why I got into this program, was to help me get more corporate paid speaking gigs and stop doing dog and pony shows and selling products and back of the room sales and all that. So in listening to a lot of this stuff, a lot of it I've done, and, so I just am always a learner. And so Michael started coaching me. And as we were talking about money-making activities, since the coronavirus hit, I thought, I'm just going to pick up the phone and just start calling people. I started making my top 20 list, but some of the people I called weren't even on it. So I thought, I'm just going to start having conversations and see how people are feeling. I think I mentioned that to you guys, Stephanie. So I started making those calls. I had an amazing call. I hadn't talked to a woman in a few years. And as I was asking her about how they were doing, I said, I just really want to take your temperature, because I'm a speaker, but I do hypnosis for salespeople. So I help them increase their results. So anyway, so I said, I want to make good products for people right now, and I want to take your temperature. And she said, oh, would you be open to have a conversation with our whole board of directors? They could probably really give you some good insight. And I was like, yeah. So she put the whole thing together, and we had a fabulous conversation. There were 6 people on it. And this gentleman said, so are you calling to sell us something? And I said, no. And long story short, they ended up asking me to come into their company and make products and coach and train and do all these things. So then I emailed Michael, and I'm like, help. So he was
the dog caught the car.
Yeah, he was really instrumental in helping me put together my proposal. I had an idea of what it was going to look like, but it was amazing. So I pitched them. I'm meeting the board tomorrow, but they called me yesterday, Michael, and I'll have to forward you the email. They said, do you take American Express for my monthly fee, which I quoted them 15 grand a month. And they said they didn't have sticker shock. They didn't bat an eye. And they want me pretty much to be a part of their board. They sent me an email yesterday and said, Cappy, we want you to own a piece of our company. We love you so much. So I'm I'm presenting to the board tomorrow. And it basically consists of running their training company, putting all their products together for all their real estate companies. So huge win. Thank you. Thank you. I'm super excited.
How much is it again?
It's 15 grand a month.
He kind of glazes over that. Yeah, 15 grand a month. Way to go, Cappy. Cappy, I think the original proposal was a fee up front, then a lower amount per month. Did you switch it, or did they it sounds like the full picture is the same amount, but spread out.
It's 15. I quoted them 15,000 a month for 4 months, and then 10 grand plus a percentage of commission to equal
That's right.
that for the next 8 months. And then they came back and said, we want you to eventually own a piece of the company. We don't want you for a year, Cappy. Like, we want you a part of our company. So I said, as long as I can be a 1099, and after a year, I want to reevaluate on the numbers I'm bringing in. And they said, absolutely. So yeah, it's super exciting. I've worked a long time for this. So thank you.
You know, everyone on this call, including everyone on our team, we're all having the same thought right now, which is, man, we are in the wrong freaking business.
Why?
That's what I told her.
I'm not saying that.
She's going to get a percent of every.
That is spectacular.
Excited. Very huge win. Huge win.
It's really great.
Congratulations,
Yeah,
Gabby.
And it all comes, just for the archival historical recordings, it comes from a no agenda, getting in touch. How can I help?
Totally.
What are you up against? Want to take your temperature?
Yes.
Phone call with no expectation. I mean, Michael talks about this, right? It's Piwato.
Piwata, way to go. Somebody actually remembered that. Thank you.
That's a Charest thing. Tell us what that is again.
Positive expectancy without attachment to outcome.
I love that. That's so awesome. And
Yeah.
David, you know, I just want to thank you too, because watching your videos, the taking temperature, I think for us as typically, like when we're calling people, it's more like, oh, hey, how are you? And it's a little more vague. But what I did was exactly what you said to do. I was like, hey, look, I'm just like the doctor. I'm just checking in with you guys. I want to see what the problem is, and I want to help you diagnose, or whatever you said. I said something, you know, I regurgitated it. And then when she was like, oh, can I get the board? Can we all do it? Like, they were selling me instead of me feeling like I'm calling them, trying to sell them another talk or whatever. So it was, the shift was really subtle in the conversation, but the impact has been tremendous. So thank you both. And Stephanie, thank you.
Very exciting.
I'm so happy because I kind of got into this at a bumpy road and didn't understand, because you guys know some of the emails were missing and I didn't understand what I was supposed to be doing. And it's really been amazing. So thank you very much.
You hung in there. That's
And so I was just going to pop on and I don't need to be here anymore. Like, I'm gone. I'm out. This is finished.
Oh, stay.
Well,
Oh,
because
everybody wants
here's why. I was going to come on because in our Platinum Council, for example, that Deb is in, and just other clients that are in our various programs, sales are being made today. Sales are happening right now. So people are like, oh, this is a terrible environment to sell. Maybe it is a terrible environment to sell, but as Cappy just demonstrated, it's not a terrible environment to help. It's not a terrible environment to have conversations. It's not a terrible environment to connect and to build relationship and to build trust and to add value. But this is just such a perfect example of what I wanted to come on and share today. But I don't even need to, because there's evidence. There's evidence right here. And it's very, very exciting.
Thank you so much. I appreciate it.
Yes, Karen.
Karen, formerly known as Patrick.
Patrick. Oh, and now it changed.
I just
the
changed it
magic
for
of
you.
Zoom.
There you are. It's great to see you.
Stephanie, you're a warrior. Hi, David Newman. What a nice celebrity guest star today. So wins. Last week, I get a message from my website looking for an event in April of 2021 in Florida from a woman who saw me 8 years ago at like a speaker showcase in Pinehurst, North Carolina for student events, student council, which is something I kind of do over here, but not primarily. And it was a reminder to me, one, your tomorrow can become your today, and the value of connecting with people from the past. And she just was going through, she says, every year when we have these events, I tear up my program and I put all my speakers in my file and I write things like, never hire them, they're fantastic, yes, yes, they were fun, this, whatever. And she was just going back through, because it's the time of year where they're booking a year from now. She's like, we don't know what that's going to be. But she's like, I'm going to keep planning until they say stop. And she was going through, and there was me with, yes, 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 we love her, she can talk to students and teachers. And then she goes back online, she sees the updated website, which is the old website. But it was just that little magic miracle that keeps me reminded that it's not the end of times, it's just a new time. So celebrating that, I'll send her a proposal today. She's very excited. We're talking about sponsorships because I'm raising my rates per David Newman. And she's like, well, do you know this and that? Well, we could probably get a sponsorship. And right away, she started to think about how they could sponsor to bring me all the way from Montana, because it's not cheap. But she feels like it's worth it. So thank you all. Happy to celebrate that with you today.
Very exciting. And Karen, just to catch up, what is the new rate that we're moving to?
She and I asked, we did a little conversation online. She said, we typically pay our keynote speakers $4,000. And I said, well, typically I would come in at $8,500. So let's see if we can find something in between. And as I'm saying it, I'm like, stay strong, stay strong. And I said, you know, even if we could find something in the $5,000 to $7,000 range, it's 2 days of travel for me to get there. It's an expensive ticket. And then she said, do you know Clint Studer? I'm like, oh, the Studer Group, I've trained with them. They're part of my healthcare client. She's like, oh, he loves sponsoring our youth work. And so suddenly there was a ding, and they'll find another $3,000 is what I'm guessing. And even if it was a $4,000 keynote to get to go to Florida, I would probably say yes. But I didn't back off as I normally would, of like, oh, I need to be everybody's codependent keynote speaker right now and make it right for you. And just held steady to see what they would come back with. And that started the sponsorship conversation.
Yeah, that's tremendous.
So you've helped me build some confidence around that.
That's great.
Michael, Stephanie, thank you.
And that is not the first time you've had someone from like your reasonably distant past come back. That's the second time I've heard you say 8 years.
2 weeks, yeah.
Yeah, just within this month. And it's funny because I know David always says, you can't just sit around and wait for the phone to ring. But that's really what I've done for 12 years.
Before
this. So now I always think, gosh, my business could really take off. And that event may not happen. And I'm still in a pivot and thinking about online and continuing to watch everything that's coming up. But what it reminds me is there's still a hunger. And I think the hunger is going to be deep to go out and eat, to exercise with friends, to connect with colleagues, to gather in community. Like if nothing, the hunger is becoming so insatiable that once we do resurface, and whatever that looks like, we want to be there to satisfy that.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I'm really lucky to have people, a lot of refer and repeat business, and people coming back for more. So I just need to remind them I'm still in business.
Thanks for sharing, Karen.
Yeah.
So I think we have a couple more wins. Let's keep them laser focused. We'll go to Deb next, and then anyone else. Go ahead, Deb.
So I got a lead from the virtual event that I did. I think it was last week. No, week before. I don't know. Anyway, it's a blur. Anyway, it's a CEO of a software company, and he's like, I don't even know what you do, but I think we need to work together. So we just had a getting to know you type conversation, and I booked half an hour. We ended up talking for an hour and 15 minutes because we hit it off so well. And it turned into an opportunity for consulting and coaching their product team, but also he is part of Vistage. And I was going to ask if I can ask a question off my win. I don't know anything about Vistage, but I've heard of other people that speak for Vistage, and he is interested in bringing me in to get on that circuit and talk about Tomorrow Zone. So anyway, it's kind of a interesting opportunity, and we'll see what happens. And then I'll leave my question for later.
It's a shame we don't have anybody on the call today, David Newman, who knows anything about Vistage.
And Matt and I were in the same.
Oh, Matt too.
That's where they gave us our red glasses.
Yes.
At Vistage.
Sweet.
If you're in Vistage, you get these.
That's all we get. All we got is the glasses, and then we got the boot.
And we got the boot.
Well, I do have red glasses, so
Bring them out. They make a big difference.
Do they? Okay.
Well, why don't we, David, I don't know, did you want to share anything on today's call? Do you want to just go into the Vistage question? We have another question from Sharon as well.
I did want to share, but now, Cappy stole my thunder. So okay, that's out. But I do just want to point out, and I know that Stephanie and Michael and Sarah and the whole team have already indoctrinated everyone in this, but those new COVID-19 modules, especially, the mindset one for sure, but especially the COVID-19 messaging and the COVID-19 marketing, the way that we're going to get attention is by speaking to the immediate current hair on fire situation, using current hair on fire language and priorities. And, even in the regular part of the training, we talk about speaking prospect language, about prospect problems. Obviously, when prospect problems change, like they have, then our prospect language needs to change to match. So I would just encourage you, one time through those COVID-19 modules is not enough. I would go back in, I would remarinate, recogitate, repercolate, other words that end in ate and start with re. I would do those things because that's what's going to sharpen your mental saw so that you can start having fantastic conversations like Karen has had and like Cappy has had. And that's what it's about. It's not about, let's close the deal. Let's open more conversations. And let's open more conversations now when your clients and your prospects need you the most, right? We always said that, we're professional problem solvers. And now people are complaining, there's so many problems in the world. It's like, yeah, but you're a professional problem solver. So isn't that wonderful for you that you are equipped to come in like the Navy SEALs into a high priority, high urgency, high risk situation and save their bacon, literally save their business, save their marketing, save their leadership, save their recruiting, save their retention, save the future of their company, save their investments, save their exit plan, save their everything, right? Save their health, save their wellness, save their future. I'm trying to go around, everyone's thing. But yes, you are here to save their bacon, and they are more open now. If your message resonates, they're more open now than they probably were 2 or 3 months ago because they just got a whole bunch of new problems. That's all.
Yes, Cappy?
So I found, David, that people are actually have time now to talk. And one of the things I've been sharing with them is, hey, look, let's leverage this time, because when it bounces back, we're not going to have time to put these pieces together and plan your next steps and that kind of thing. So I'm actually using this time when I call people to say, I know you're busy on the phone and so am I, but let's take the time because we're probably not going to have it in a month. I think when it opens, we are going to be all those chickens running out of our coops, right? So I think this is the time to be on the phone. And just like Karen said, we're all busy and I don't want to pick up the phone either and do all the things we all know we need to do. I don't love it. I've even hired so many people in the past to telemarket and book all my events. So I got on this and I'm like, I got to pick up the phone. I don't love it, got to admit. But when I got off the phone and that went so well, and now my life's going to change dramatically because of a phone call. It's like the phone is our friend. And I think that it is being able to just take advantage of this time, find that solution. I also made a free sample session on a ClickFunnels online where people could go download my free subconscious session to de-stress during COVID times. And I think my first email out, I had like 68 people the first day go get it and opt in for it. So whatever you can even give them for free, something, even if it's a white paper, or just say, hey, I want to share this with you guys for free. I sent out that email and people were like, thank you. Oh my God, I'm sleeping better. So I think really however we can help, it will reignite that connection with them. So I'm trying to do a lot of things, build my whole online platform in addition to this. But yeah, so David's right. Leverage. I think we need to leverage this time for sure.
Cappy, I want to reframe something you said, and for everyone as well. I heard you say, I don't love doing this, right? And
The phone part.
The phone part, of course. And you have had a lot of very positive responses from it. And so for those things in your business, like a lot of people don't like marketing, or they don't like whatever, sales, or they don't like whatever it is. Let's really try and avoid language like that and reframe it to be the part that you do love about it, and the part that you appreciate about it, and the reason why you want to do it. It's you're going to feel, and you know this, Cappy, so you're going to feel so much different when you approach that phone call or that sales conversation, or, well, this just the conversation. We don't have to call it a sales conversation. Any of those things that you don't love doing, let's change the energy around it. Let's change like how we're talking about it will make a massive difference. Oh, good, Karen. I'm glad my reframing helps. Awesome. Well, David, we weren't going to keep you here too long today. Can we answer Deb's Vistage question before you, I don't know how long you want to stay.
I'd love to tag team this with Matt, because he also had the same experience I did. You know, it really depends on chemistry. So Vistage, of course, is the world's largest CEO peer group organization. A lot of them are, you know, mid-sized businesses, manufacturing, home heating oil, a little bit of consulting, a little bit of this, a little bit of construction. It's, you know, what I call kind of Joe Six-pack kind of businesses. They're not necessarily, and again, this varies group by group. Some groups have very different chemistry, and it also depends on region. So if you're in the coal region of Pennsylvania, you're gonna have a different Vistage group than in Silicon Valley right outside San Francisco. But generally speaking, they're, you know, I don't know, $2 to $10 million companies of all different stripes. The CEOs I found, and I'd love Matt's take on this whole thing that I'm ranting here about, they think they're the smartest guys and gals in the room, but they're not, is the problem. But they think extremely highly of themselves, and it can be a very, very challenging room to be in front of. So we've had both clients and my personal friends who are Vistage speakers. Gary Markle, for example, has done over 1,000 Vistage talks. Mitch Gouze is another guy that's done, I think, over 2,000 talks. I think he's in the top 3 of all Vistage speakers anywhere in the US and Canada. One of my clients, actually, Charles Scott, just won Vistage Speaker of the Year. And he's very, very successful with Vistage speaking as a lead generator. If you have a compelling offer and you've streamlined the segue that needs to be super subtle, and those are your people, meaning you resonate with them and they resonate with you, then I think it can be a great tool for prospecting. If not, then not. But let's hear from Matt, because he's operating sort of at a different level. Certainly when I was in Vistage, he was totally at a different level, and may have more insight about the group in general.
I think you nailed the person. It's a business owner. I've worked for Vistage business owners. I've sold their companies. So for me, my offering to a group of 12 business owners in a room, they all own a business. They all want to sell it. I've sold one guy's business for 20 million bucks over here in the corner. I'm like the hero. They want to hear what I have to say because I have something that someday they'll use. I don't know, Cappy, with what you do, I'm not sure if that's the great, I think there's a fit issue there. And you're right, David, they are the smartest people in the room. If you come in and try to explain, they've heard marketing, they've heard sales, they've heard it all before. So you got to have a really different offering for them. David, I don't even know what Vistage pays for speakers. I always thought it was kind of lower tier.
Oh, it is. I mean, it's pocket money. It's like, I think you start at either 500 or 600. They may have raised it to 600. And I think the highest that they'll pay as far as a speaking fee is either $1,000 or $1,200. And that's for like the Gary Markles and the folks that do 50, 60, 70 talks a year that are really maximizing the circuit. So you get a raise, but really most Vistage speakers do it because they have a back-end consulting or a back-end coaching or a back-end professional service like Matt does.
Like that, yeah. That you have to have something. Yeah, if you have a back end that you think you can sell to them, I think for sure. But for me, I would have a hard time really leaving the region to do a Vistage talk. But there's lots of Vistage people around you. So, but I mean, to drive down to the next town for a grand and to talk to somebody, it might work. I don't know if it's my start.
I found the process of getting in a little bit of jumping through too many hoops personally. They send you this whole platform that they want you to write your presentation and their stuff, which is my, proprietary information basically. And then you have to get recommended in. And it was kind of like a ton of hoops for not a lot of money to me. And I didn't really want to invest the time in, but I think they're right. Like depending on what you're going to get out of her for $500, and then you want me to fit so much. I still have it on my desktop, and finally I emailed them back. It was too much work. So it just depends on if you're, willing to put the work in. Like they said, could you meet another business owner that wants to hire you? Yeah. I mean, if you're looking to just get that leverage and connect, but I think the whole thing, what I'm learning from David and Stephanie and Michael in this whole program is I think I have been underselling my stuff and being so willing to go jump through all their hoops versus taking the position of sitting back and saying, wait, I am a professional speaker. Here's my fee. You not jump through my hoop, but let's do it my way. And then kind of like Karen was saying, then they're like, oh, this person will sponsor. But it's almost like that shift in perception of how we see ourselves. Like, Karen was saying, like, I was always the accommodator and the helper and let me do it for this. And that the Vistage thing, I met the lady at dinner and she was kind of full of herself. And well, if you meet our qualifications kind of thing. And I'm like, are you kidding me, lady? I've opened for Deepak Chopra and she wants me to like write her, Vistage thing. So it was kind of funny. So it just depends on, I think, how you want to.
Well, that was really helpful feedback to help me classify this as either a distraction or an opportunity. So I think for now, I'm throwing it in the distraction column because I don't want extra work.
It does sound like you made a really good connection though, like for business, not Vistage, but
yeah. The software opportunity is huge. So David, I'll probably talk to you about that later.
Great.
Anything else for David? I don't know if you, and then we'll go to Sharon's question.
What a fine looking group. That's all I'm going to say. What a fine looking group. We've let all the other folks kind of just move on and graduate, but this is a fine looking group. Cappy, you had something else?
I do. So first of all, I want to thank you, David. Your wisdom's been really, really valuable. And I think Mimi Donaldson. Do you know Mimi Donaldson?
I know her name. We've never met in person.
Oh, okay. Back from, I think, like the speaker world years and years ago. But I just wanted to ask you and all your experience and where you are today. Obviously you've taken your program online on Kajabi and the videos we're watching and everything else. What else would you suggest at the level you are, obviously with everything you've accomplished, but what would you suggest in addition to us, doing what we're currently doing? Like, I've co-authored books. I have a publisher ready to pick me up, but I don't know if I want to self-publish. Like, what would you say some next steps are if we're already accomplishing certain things? Just from your expertise, what would you say some good next steps would be if we're already got the speaker thing?
So module 9 is your friend, and that's the 5 big leverage strategies that are available to all of us, which is sponsorship, licensing, online course, high fee mentoring, high fee mastermind. And it's funny because before we put those new modules together, and they're not new to you, but Michael and Stephanie and Sarah and I worked really hard last year to totally revamp and revise and streamline and add. to what's in there. But before there was that much depth, people would say, you know, I like what you guys have going on in here. How do I make my version of Speaker Profit Formula? Like, where's my high fee online virtual group program? I was like, well, yeah, where is it? Let's help you build it. So we would, on a case-by-case basis, we would say, well, here's what you do and here's how it works and blah, blah, blah. Now, of course, that's in module 9, and even more is in the COVID-19 kind of move your business online, because that's kind of the new structure that I think is, you know, whether things will come back, I think, in the event business and the offline world, but they will not come back the same. So they're going to come back different, and having an online capability and competency in your speaking, coaching, consulting, trusted advisor business is going to be professional insurance for the rest of your career. Knowing that you're never going to be dependent, 100% dependent on live events, knowing that you can just show up at an event when you want to and that you never have to. So you're no longer selling your time, attention, and presence that way unless you want. And I still love doing live events. I love doing lead generating speaking. I love doing the occasional paid speech here and there, but it's when I want to, because the vast majority of our company's income is here and our platinum program and our other programs that we have. So everything is online, everything is virtual. And I started to make that shift in 2013. I made that shift in 2013 because I wanted to. Fast forward to today, and I literally pinch myself going, thank God that our business is not 100% dependent. Now, it might be 50%, 70%, 30%, whatever the mix is that you like. But now, if you have sponsorship, if you have licensing, if you have an online course, if you have a high fee mentoring program, 6, 8, 10-week online virtual program, if you have, for example, what Matt could do, right, is have a CEO council, a small business council, a founders council. I like the word council better than mastermind. Mastermind's sort of been bastardized, and people have, it's a $97 a month mastermind. So don't use that word. But things like forum, executive council, CEO council, industry council, those things people want to join. And they're high ticket, could be $15, $20, $25, $30,000 a year, $2,000, $3,000, $4,000 a month, whatever you want to make yours. And people love it because they get to connect with you and you're the convener, and they like to connect with each other. Speaking of Vistage, right, that's the whole Vistage model. So Vistage, YPO, EO, EIEIO, all of the O's, the YPO, the WPO, EO, they are all these peer group organizations. Yes, people love to connect with the chair, but they also love to connect with each other. So that's, I think, the other thing, that we're building communities around our expertise. And this right here is a fantastic community around Michael's expertise and Stephanie's expertise and my expertise and Sarah and Robin's expertise. But we're connecting with each other. There may be referrals going back and forth. There may be idea sharing. There may be joint ventures. There may be sidebar conversations happening. Hey, you want to get into banks? Oh my goodness, I used to work in banking. Let me set you up with 3 fantastic intros that you need to have. This is why this format is so powerful. Not to mention the fact that we can ask questions in public and then get the answer in public, which of course helps everybody. So I would focus on module 9, very long answer to a simple question. I would focus on module 9. I would cherry pick 1 or 2 of those leverage and scaling strategies that really resonate with you. If you love this format, for example, or the year-long Elite Access program that we talk about in the COVID-19 modules, start putting the building blocks together. If you want to build an online course, I just put in that 2-hour course launchpad training of how to rethink your offline content and start to build online course modules from it. So I wouldn't do all of those things. I would do a little survey in there, pick 1 or 2 that really speak to you, and then start sharpening your pencil and mapping it out and strategizing, and then coming onto these calls and asking Michael and asking Sarah and popping questions in the Facebook group as you start to roll that out and start to put some flesh on the bones.
Thank you.
That's huge. Huge. That's awesome. So David, just real quick, what was that one you just said at the end there about the 2 hour
Course Launchpad?
Oh,
I just
wow.
put it in
Course
the chat.
Launchpad training. I think it's the first training now that's on the bonus tab. It's separate from the COVID-19 modules, but it's the first. I just had Sam pop it in. So now it's the first thing that you see on the bonus tab is the Course Launchpad training that I did.
Huge. That's huge.
Yeah.
Deborah, what were you going to ask? Or Deb?
Deb.
I have a situational name.
I got this.
But yeah, Deb. I think you answered some of it. I can't get off of the comment you made, David, on one of your, I think it was in your COVID collection. You said community is the new content. And I'm sensing a huge and very tight window of opportunity to capture that right now in the market that I'm in. And if it's too much for this call to get into it, we can talk about it later. But I think it sounds like module 9 is the place to start, but I really want to, if you have any resources to quickly put together a strategy for that, because I feel like timing is of the essence.
Sure. So what if you started a free Facebook group just for equipment financing executives? And you were in there like white on rice. You're doing a daily Facebook Live in there, 5 or 10 minutes. You're interviewing them on camera. So you're kind of using the interview strategy, except in public. And the comments are coming in. You're using something like StreamYard where you can actually see the comments come in, respond to the comments in real time. Then of course, later you can edit that video. That video can then be cleaned up, polished, transcribed, whatever you want to do with it. But I think having some kind of free community and just getting in there and loving on them, really, really important.
Can you,
the last quick thing, now we can capitalize on it, but that's not going away. I mean, I think community was the new content, even, back in 2019, pre-COVID, because content is a dime a dozen. Content wants to be free, right? No matter how smart, wonderful, amazing, insightful your content is, people can only read so many 7 strategies for this, 5 keys to that, 3 secrets to so-and-so. That's a commodity. If we do this in a public forum where it's a Facebook Live or it's a free webinar or it's a free video series or it's something where people can start to comment and connect and mainly connect with you, right? So your personality and your sense of humor and your humanity comes across when you build a community around your expertise. That level of transparency and authenticity is going to attract way better clients and way better prospects than just blasting out, black and white text only email newsletter once a month. I mean, you need to be in front of these people, loving on them, helping them, being of service, being of value, and helping them connect with each other simply so they feel less isolated and less alone, and they feel that they're being heard and seen and connected with. And that, I think, is going to be an evergreen strategy. I would just disagree with your premise that there's a very limited time that we can make this happen. We can start it now, but it's going to be for now and forever. The person that builds the biggest community around their particular expertise, and it can be very niche. I'm not saying hundreds of thousands of people. You get 700 equipment finance executives, that's a lifetime of business. You'll never need more than that.
I want to get them though before any of my competitors do.
Sure. Well, remember, most of your competitors are going to be like lazy and short-sighted. So if you're not, you win.
Well, my competitors want to partner with me on stuff like this, and I don't want to dilute my brand with theirs.
That's like the big publisher, the big association, trade publication.
Associations and media are coming to me, and I don't want to work with them on this.
Okay.
So, yeah.
I would say though, so you think about like a podcast, right? People listen to 20 podcasts, but they'll listen to yours if they love it the most. And so I think a lot of people will sample communities or like, oh, this free Facebook group and my free Facebook group. there'll be a world of difference if yours is amazing and the other one's dead, you know? So I even think that even if you're not the first, doesn't necessarily mean you're going to be the best one. You could be the first and it could still be terrible. I know yours won't be Deb, because you're not that kind of, you're not going to commit to it in a terrible way, but I just want to give you context for that. Like it's fine.
That helps. Yeah, thank you.
David, quick question though. But old people like me, we're not like Facebook, LinkedIn, Twitter, the Facebook, you know, we're just not experts in this stuff. And right. I mean, should we really be grasping onto someone who knows their stuff and bringing them in here and having them help us? I'm not going to catch up to where some of you folks are, like on this, and what you've done with your video is amazing. I'm not going to catch up myself personally.
Sure.
I mean, do most people that are out there that are successful that have like someone? I've got a 22-year-old daughter upstairs who's unemployed, who Instagrams in her sleep,
right?
Who can do this stuff.
Sure.
I'm thinking of just bringing her on board.
If it doesn't play to your strengths, and you know, Stephanie's really the expert here. Simplify, delegate, you know, outsource, partner, hire. Totally. You don't need to be the one pushing the buttons. You just need to be the one that is the convener of this community.
And but without but I don't know what the best thing is.
Or your own platform.
I'm finishing up my first platform now. I'm finishing up my website, and I'm going to add all that stuff to it. But I need a resource to help me with this.
Sure.
Is it in your modules that I missed, or should I be calling somebody else?
It's maybe hire a VA. Could be as simple as that.
Yeah.
I think that's it. Morgan, if you would post the webinar we did, or not webinar, but the presentation we did on hiring a VA, David's right, Matt. That's I think what you're after. And one thing to be careful of, like you notice David just mentioned Facebook. And I think some of us tend to hear Facebook and Instagram and tweeting, and he didn't say all those things. He just said, right? David, you don't see David doing all those other things. Facebook is huge. I mean, Deb asked the question about forming a community, and it's such a no-brainer because they did all the infrastructure. I mean, you could literally start a Facebook group 15 minutes after this call ends. It's that easy. Not to say you might not know all that, but a good VA does and can help you set it up quickly. But don't translate one piece of social media means all social media. You could just pick one for now. But I do think that's a good idea to help get somebody to help you, so you're not wasting your time trying to figure out something that could take your daughter or a VA, something that's easy for them.
If you're authentic, if you're being authentic in the group, then it doesn't matter if you're great on video or whatever. The infrastructure can get set up by anyone else, but it's going to be your job to decide how good you want to be at communicating with your audience and how you want to position yourself as a leader in that community. And that's an intentional strategy. That's not something we're all just great at. Like, I don't know, I'm certainly not great at it. Until, I choose to learn to become great at it, then it's practice, then it's intentional, then it's research, then you learn from experts. And just like you join this course, you learn about the stuff that you think is important. All right, yeah. Let's wrap up, because David, I didn't promise you that you would have to be here this long.
No, this was great. So great to see everyone. Eric, hello, goodbye. I will see you guys in the Facebook group, and it's so great to hear these success stories, and please remarinate in the modules that we talked about, and we are super, super excited to see more and more ongoing success. So,
David, I just want to say this is my last time, my last meeting. I can't do Thursdays.
I'm about to graduate.
Me too. But I just wanted, I knew that you were going to be on, and, Michael, I'll be talking to Stephanie later today. But I just wanted to really thank you, David, and you, Michael, and Morgan, for just, this was in many ways a game changer for me. So I truly appreciate that you've done this, and the support that I've been getting from the group. So I just wanted to say thank you before it exited.
Beautiful. Thank you so much, Eric. That means the world to us, and that is really why we get up in the morning, honestly. Absolutely. I mean, we have weekly meetings, and we say, what more can we do to get better, faster, bigger client results? And that's where some of the bonus trainings came in. That's where the COVID-19 modules came in. That's where like hire a VA, the link that Morgan just posted. We're trying to remove every obstacle and accelerate the speed and shorten the time that you get results. And so I'm thrilled to hear that. Thank you. Thank you.
It's greatly appreciated.
Okay. Thank you, everyone. Have a great rest of your day.
Bye, David.
Thank you, David.
Bye-bye.
All right, Sharon has a
Thank
question. Let's go to it.
Let's go to it. Forgive me.
Something about CRM. Sharon, do you want to just ask us your question?
Thank you, Stephanie.
Oh, you're just on mute, Sharon.
Okay. So basically what are kind of suggested CRMs that you can use to automate things and, to send out auto emails and things like that. I've heard of Infusionsoft, but I hear it's a big learning curve, but something that's easy.
I'll answer it, Michael.
Say it again.
I said I can answer it.
Thank you.
So I feel like the word CRM is like Stephanie answers the
You got my number.
No, it's okay. It's
my
cool.
my eyes glaze over all that stuff.
And I get into lecturing mode of, the easiest possible thing. You don't have to, Infusionsoft, people call it Confusionsoft. You basically would probably need to hire someone to run the whole thing for you. So definitely don't do that. What are you trying to do with it, Sharon?
Just as you get leads, being able to set up things where, sending out emails to introduce, then, after a certain amount of time, send out offers, that type of thing, to be able to track that and end up tracking it until it becomes a client.
Sure. So if you're looking for something that sends like your newsletter, or if you have an opt-in and then people join your email list, then you'll probably end up using something like MailChimp. I think that's really inexpensive. It's very easy to use. MailChimp is probably a good bet. I'm pretty sure you can even start with a free plan. It's very simple and straightforward. If you're trying to track prospects like on a more individual basis, so like I just had a call with Michael. Okay, now I want to track. Okay, I should follow up with him in 10 days. He said this. Now I'm going to send a proposal. Da 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 da. And now I'm also tracking Karen, and I'm also tracking Eric. And if you're doing more individual tracking, then that doesn't have to be digital. You can do it on cue cards or Post-its or in your notebook or whatever. You also will see in the course, we talk about a program called Pipedrive. And that's the one we use. It has a very easy linear system to look through. So depending on, I'm still not 100% sure which one of those you're trying to do, maybe both of them. So that's what I would recommend. You can also look in the Facebook group. If you type in CRM, there's like lots of conversations about that.
All right.
Sorry, what were you going to say?
All right. Yeah, because in our, with the Academy, of course, we do it. We have a Google Doc that, has everybody. Here's what we did. But I guess I'm looking for something that actually automatically sends out, okay, they reacted and did this, and now this gets sent out. MailChimp doesn't do that. At least not on the one I use. So.
Well, so the one I've heard recent, like ConvertKit does like more reactive mailing. Infusionsoft does that. It's just incredible overkill for what you would need. Like it has landing pages and course modules and all of that. Karen just suggested Speaker Flow, so you can check that out.
Okay.
If it might be worth, I'm just trying to think of some of the other ones, like ConvertKit, for example. We were talking to Deb about this, I think last week's call, of like, if you click a link in the email, it'll put them on this list or tag them in that way or that sort of thing. So there are definitely lots that do that. I would check out the Facebook group for
I'll do that.
information about that.
Okay.
All right. Anything else from anyone else? I think that was our only official submitted question today. I'm glad you guys are all here to see David. Nothing else today? Well, then we are going to just send you on your way. You guys have 10 minutes before the hour. Make the use of it, whether it's just to get some sunshine or jot down something that you found really insightful today or an action that you're going to take in the next couple of days. Solidify the learning from today's call, and please submit questions for Thursday. We would love to talk to you, answer your questions. We are also don't know the date yet, but we're also going to get Robin, our copywriter, on to one of these calls too. So if you have copywriting questions, we will post in the Facebook group when she will be on. Okay?
Yeah.
And Eric, I will talk to you later today, but farewell.
Absolutely.
Glad to have you here.
Michael and Morgan, great to see you.
Real quick, Karen just asked P. Watto again. Positive expectancy without attachment to outcome. Got it? Sorry to interrupt, Steph and Eric.
No, great.
Hey. We'll see you when I move to Boston. I'll come for a visit.
Please do.
Cool.
Bye, everyone.
Thanks.
Have a great day.
Thank you.
Bye.
Bye-bye.